Hey everyone, for today's video, I'll be doing a video going over Gabimaru, a bit of his kit and my thoughts, as well as whether or not you should summon for him. Starting off though, he's a fire human and his slots are 6-star physical, 5-star magic, and 4-star support and physical. They're pretty okay slots. The support slot is nice for some team support, and the magic and physical are good for him since he's a DPS. LB6 could definitely benefit him since he could hold the fire summoner's road equips, although only do that if you get dupes of him, don't use any expert LB stones. LB7 isn't really worth it since the 4-star physical won't really change his gameplay too much. I'm sure if you wanted to, you could use multiple of him to nuke, but it seems fairly unoptimized, and I'd rather just let him have that 6 or 7 LB slot. For his skill, it gives 30 arts, and if he doesn't have a status element, he increases his arts by 60 instead. It has an 11-second CT. Pretty good all things considered. At its best, it gives roughly 5.5 arts a second, although with that status element it does cut it in half, but it is still very good for self-support. For his arts, it does 20,000 fire damage physical, it has a 100% chance to burn for 20 seconds, and he increases his own arts by 50. This is a pretty interesting art. It's really cool that it has a 50 art refund, and the guaranteed burn is nice, especially on stages where a burn might be needed to deal with certain bosses or mobs. But considering it doesn't have any burn resist down, unless you have someone else that's lowering the status element resist of the boss, it's gonna be pretty hard to hit this unless the boss has next to no burn resist, but it's still really nice nevertheless. But besides that, on stages where you won't need the burn, you're never really going to use this. Maybe if it had a fire resist debuff or something else in it, it'd be a bit better, but it's still solid if you do need a burn. It's just that in stages not needing it, it's going to be useless. For his true art, it does 65,000 fire damage physical, and for 30 seconds, all allies get a 100% crit rate, as well as 150% damage up for fire allies. This is definitely a nice true art. AoE crit is always welcome from a DPS. Not only that, but the AoE damage for fire units is really nice as well, so he'll not only be supporting himself with more damage up, but he'll be buffing other fire units on the team. It'll definitely be nice if he's being ran with other fire units that are either damaging or supporting him. Someone like Rin is gonna enjoy this a lot, or even future units that'll eventually come to the game, such as Valentine's Priscilla, Blazing Flower Mira, and even potentially the new battle mode Milim. As for his super arts, it does 180,000 fire damage physical, and during the duration of the super arts, he increases his own crit rate by 100% and super crit rate by 30%. The modifier is obviously insane, and not only that, but the guaranteed crit, as well as 30% chance to super crit, will make this output some heavy numbers. It'll be interesting to see how hard this hits in the current endgame stages in global, like the new Celia crest. As for his passives, he increases his super crit rate by 30% when above 90% HP. He has 15% evasion rate, as well as 100% poison resist. The evasion rate isn't super terrible, although the main appeal for his passives is that super crit rate. This is the first time we're seeing someone introduced with passive super crit rate, which is a very big step towards seeing a future where super crit rate becomes more common. The biggest drawback to this is of course the fact that it's tied to being at 90% or more HP, so on harder stages that are constantly lowering your life, insane heals or shielding is going to be needed if you want to make use of this passive. But if you're able to successfully keep him above that threshold, either through units like Thetis, Haruto, or Shiro, having that passive super crit rate is going to be very nice. And pairing that with his super art, he'll have a 60% chance to super crit, which is going to mean that his super art is going to be even more terrifying than before. Not only that, but since it's passive, that means his true art will also benefit from his super crit rate. So he's always going to be putting out big numbers, whether it be his true art or super art, which is going to be exciting. Overall though, Gabimaru is a very fun character to run. As of now, he won't have the best support considering a lot of the good fire supporters for him aren't even released in global yet. But with who we do have, it'll be interesting to try him out in some of the harder stages of the game. When we do eventually get better fire units such as Valentine's Priscilla or even Blazing Flower Mira, Gabimaru is going to be a lot more impressive. But as of now, I think a crazy support for him is going to be Rin. Her 300% AoE damage debuff on true art, and fire resist debuff on art is gonna make him go wild. Even if he doesn't benefit from her super art at all, he'll still be able to eat good from what she can provide him. He's definitely not pity worthy by any stretch of the imagination, but I'd 100% do a 50 summon for the chance to pull him. He's probably gonna be the most consistently high damaging unit we have in global right now, so skipping him would be unfortunate, but don't chase him of course. Anyways, let me know your thoughts about him. I think he's a very strong DPS, and the fact that he's able to buff the team's damage as a damager himself is pretty nice. I'll do a video like this tomorrow for Sagiri, so be sure to keep a lookout for that. If you did enjoy the video, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.